If you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about honest, practical, real-life guidance for parents, especially those navigating breastfeeding and pumping. Today we are talking about pumping mistakes, not just one or two, but the most common mistakes that can silently hurt your milk supply, your confidence, your comfort, and your overall pumping journey. This is going to be a long, detailed video, so settle in, grab some water, and if you're pumping right now, you are not alone. Let me start by saying this clearly: if you are pumping and struggling, you are not failing. Pumping is not intuitive. No one is born knowing how to pump. Most people are never properly taught. Many are handed a pump in the hospital, shown a 2-minute demonstration, and then expected to figure it all out while exhausted, emotional, and healing. So if anything in this video sounds familiar, it does not mean you did something wrong on purpose. It just means you are human. One of the biggest mistakes I see is starting pumping without understanding how milk supply actually works. Milk production is driven by demand. The more often and effectively milk is removed from the breasts, the more milk your body is signaled to make. Pumps do not magically create milk. They only remove milk. If milk is not removed frequently or effectively, your body assumes less milk is needed and slowly reduces supply. This is why skipping sessions, delaying pumping, or pumping inconsistently can have a huge impact over time, even if it doesn't seem obvious in the beginning. Another extremely common mistake is not pumping often enough, especially in the early weeks. In the first 6 to 8 weeks postpartum, your milk supply is being programmed. This is when frequency matters more than anything else. Many people pump only when they feel full or uncomfortable, but by the time you feel full, your body has already received a signal to slow down production. Ideally, in the early weeks, milk removal should happen about 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour period. That includes nighttime. Skipping night sessions consistently can lead to a noticeable drop in supply because prolactin levels are naturally higher at night. Let's talk about pump fit, because this is one of the most misunderstood areas of pumping. Using the wrong flange size is incredibly common and incredibly harmful. Many people use flanges that are too large because pumps often come with standard sizes that do not fit most bodies. A flange that is too large can pull in too much areola, cause pain, reduce milk removal, and even lead to nipple damage. A flange that is too small can restrict milk flow and cause friction and swelling. Proper fit is not about comfort alone, it is about efficiency. When the flange fits correctly, milk flows better and the breast empties more fully, which protects your supply. Pain during pumping is not normal. Discomfort at the very beginning may happen, but ongoing pain, pinching, burning, or cracking is a sign that something is wrong. Ignoring pain is a mistake that can lead to long-term issues like nipple trauma, blocked ducts, mastitis, and reduced pumping frequency simply because pumping becomes something you dread. Pain often leads people to shorten sessions or skip sessions, which then affects supply. Another mistake is not pumping long enough. Many people stop pumping as soon as milk flow slows down, thinking the session is over. But milk is released in waves, known as letdowns. After the first letdown, milk flow may slow or stop briefly, but another letdown can occur with continued stimulation. Ending sessions too early can leave milk behind, and leftover milk tells your body to make less next time. Most pumping sessions should last about 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes longer, especially if you are exclusively pumping or trying to increase supply. On the other hand, pumping excessively long sessions without adequate breaks can also be a problem. Pumping for 40 or 50 minutes every session can irritate breast tissue and lead to inflammation. The goal is effective milk removal, not exhausting the breast. Quality matters just as much as quantity when it comes to time spent pumping. Let's talk about pump settings, because this is another area where many people struggle. Higher suction does not mean more milk. Turning the pump up to the highest setting can actually cause the nipple to swell, which reduces milk flow and causes pain. Milk responds best to rhythmic, comfortable suction that mimics a baby's natural suckling. The strongest setting that is still comfortable is usually the most effective. If you are holding your breath or tensing your shoulders during pumping, the suction is likely too high. Stress is a huge and often overlooked factor in pumping success. Milk ejection is influenced by oxytocin, which is inhibited by stress, anxiety, and pain. When you are tense, worried, or rushing, your milk may not flow as easily, even if supply is technically adequate. Many people interpret this as low supply when it is actually a letdown issue. Creating a calm pumping environment, using deep breathing, listening to relaxing music, or looking at pictures or videos of your baby can significantly improve milk flow. Another common mistake is comparing output to others. Social media has made this worse. Seeing pictures of full bottles and freezer stashes can make you feel like something is wrong if you are pumping smaller amounts. The truth is that pumping output varies widely and does not always reflect actual milk supply. Some bodies respond better to pumps than others. Some people produce exactly what their baby needs with little extra. A just-enough offer is not failing. Milk supply is not measured by freezer stash size. Hydration and nutrition also play a role, but not in the magical way many products claim. Dehydration can reduce milk volume, but forcing excessive water intake will not suddenly increase supply. Eating regularly, consuming enough calories, and not skipping meals matters more than specific foods. Extreme dieting or trying to lose weight rapidly while pumping can negatively affect supply and energy levels. Your body needs fuel to make milk. Skipping pumping sessions due to exhaustion is understandable, but repeated skipping adds up. One missed session may not seem like a big deal, but repeated missed sessions signal your body to down-regulate production. This is especially true if skipped sessions happen around the same time every day. Consistency is more important than perfection. If you miss a session, adding another later or extending the next session slightly can help offset the loss. Improper milk storage and handling can also create unnecessary reminders of pumping struggles. Spilled milk, expired milk, or improperly stored milk can feel devastating, especially when pumping feels hard-won. Learning proper storage guidelines, labeling milk, and using appropriate containers helps protect the milk you worked so hard to produce and reduces emotional stress. Another mistake is not maintaining pump parts. Valves, membranes, and tubing wear out over time. When parts lose elasticity or develop tiny tears, suction decreases, and milk removal becomes less effective. Many people assume their supply dropped when in reality their pump simply needs new parts. Regular replacement according to manufacturer guidelines is essential for consistent performance. Let's talk about exclusive pumping, because it comes with its own challenges. Exclusive pumpers often underestimate how demanding the schedule can be. Pumping becomes the only way milk is removed, so skipping sessions or shortening sessions has a much greater impact than for someone who is also nursing. Exclusive pumping requires structure, planning, and realistic expectations. It is okay to grieve the experience you thought you would have while still honoring the work you are doing. Another mistake is not seeking help early. Many people wait until supply has already dropped significantly before reaching out for support. Lactation professionals can help troubleshoot fit, schedule, settings, and technique. Early intervention is far easier than trying to rebuild supply later. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of commitment. Believing myths is another major issue. There is a myth that pumping means you failed at breastfeeding. That is false. There is a myth that certain foods will instantly boost supply. There is a myth that small breasts make less milk. There is a myth that pain is normal. None of these are true. Misinformation creates guilt and anxiety, which then affects pumping success. Let's also address mental health. Pumping can be emotionally draining. Being attached to a machine multiple times a day, planning life around sessions, and measuring output can create anxiety and obsessive thoughts. Feeling resentment, sadness, or burnout does not mean you love your baby any less. Mental health matters. Sometimes adjusting pumping goals or schedules to protect emotional well-being is the healthiest choice. Another mistake is not adjusting expectations over time. Milk supply naturally stabilizes and may appear lower after the early weeks when engorgement decreases. This does not automatically mean supply has dropped. Understanding what normal regulation looks like can prevent unnecessary panic and overcorrection, such as excessive pumping that leads to oversupply issues like clogged ducts. Oversupply itself can also be problematic. Some people intentionally try to build large freezer stashes early on, pumping far beyond what is needed. Oversupply increases the risk of engorgement, blocked ducts, mastitis, and emotional exhaustion. A sustainable supply that meets your baby's needs is the goal, not maximum output at all costs. Finally, one of the biggest mistakes is believing that your pumping journey has to look like anyone else's. There is no single right way. Some people pump for weeks, others for months or years. Some supplement with formula, some exclusively provide breast milk. Your worth as a parent is not measured in ounces. Feeding your baby in a way that supports both their health and your well-being is what matters most. If you are still pumping, you are doing hard work. If you have stopped pumping, your effort still mattered. Milk you provided at any point had value. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not alone. If this video helped you, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need reassurance today. Drop a comment if you want more long, detailed videos like this. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.